Hi, this is Ash.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline.
And I'm Dan, and today we're going to be talking about diversity and inclusion.
DEI encompasses all types of diverse groups of people, including people of different genders, races, ethnicities, abilities, disabilities, religions, cultures, ages, sexual orientations, people with diverse backgrounds and experiences. And when we talk about DEI, we're talking about diverse representation, inclusive representation, but also equity, being reinforcing a sense of equality.
People are making effort to be more inclusive and more mindful and respectful of differences and background. But equity is still where there's a lot more work to be done and gained.
Yeah, building off of what Jacqueline's talking about, I think the equity piece is a piece that often goes missing. And in media, which we do a lot of work in media, and I think on the most basic level, it's about respecting and reaching the audiences that are there. So that starts with representation, but it also is about having people in positions of power who understand cultural differences and can have those inform the choices that are being made in terms of what's presented.
It factors into consumer decision making. At the end of the day, and the bottom line is that people are going to be aware of your level of representation in the content that you're creating for them, and they're going to decide whether or not they want to show that to their children or whether they want to sit down after dinner and watch it for themselves. If they don't feel represented and included and in a fair manner and in an equitable way, then you're off the table. And there's so many other content providers out there these days that can serve that up to them.
And right now, I mean, if you look to your point, Jacqueline, we are incredibly diverse as a society and a culture, and we're only getting more diverse. And anybody who hasn't started seeing the reality of that and responding to it and really reaching out and connecting with consumers who are increasingly varied and different. There's not one single thing. You're missing the boat, because you're going to be a lot more successful if you speak to the reality that is emerging and that our culture has become. And I guess what I'm curious about from the two of you is why DEI, as a researcher, but also as a person, because we are people too, why these diversity issues are compelling to you, what it is about them that you find when you do these projects, why are they rewarding to you?
This kind of research would have a direct and intangible impact on my own life and the lives of people in my family and people that I care about, my friends. It's extremely personal and rewarding because I know what it looks like when a situation is not equitable or when you don't feel represented or included in the conversation. It's, I think, increasingly important. I think we've all seen over the last few years what can go wrong when people don't feel included in the conversation. And things as simple as TV shows can really impact how a person feels their role in society and perception that people have of them in society is playing out, and impacting their lives. So
I think that's so well put, and I completely agree. I mean, on a personal level, doing the research about DEI is, on the one hand, I mean, it's just so touching to be able to relate to so many different people's experiences, even if their background's a little bit different from mine. In a certain way, I can relate to them, and that's great. Just as Jacqueline was saying, given how much we're focused in media, and so therefore, when we talk about DEI, a lot of times we're talking about representation in media. It is really critical to have diverse representation because, just as she was saying, it helps people to feel included, it helps people to feel seen and understood in the world, and to be able to be a part of initiatives from clients who want to do more of that. I think it's a great thing.
And I think to your point, Ash, it's getting that perspective. And then it's to what Jacqueline was saying earlier, it can make a difference in the world. I mean, if our clients who I think it's great that they care about these issues and that they're moving forward on these issues and asking questions about these issues. But then when you see the difference, when you see how they take a character and add a subtle layer to it, when you see how they take an ad and they reframe the ad so the representation is not stereotypical, it's representative, where you see them looking at their own internal management and saying, we need more diversity within this. Those are really exciting. And a lot of times those changes are based in research that starts at the consumer level. And it's great to be a part of that. It's great to be part of something that is, making a difference in the world in a positive way.
And I think it's important, Dan, to your point, that our clients know that that consumers are aware of a lot of these things, even just what kinds of thought and consideration and experiences are behind the content that they are consuming, and they're questioning traditional sources, and they're questioning expertise, and they're wondering what the value of listening to all of these voices that are inundating them every day is. And so being able to show that you are considerate about people, they want to hear that and they're looking for it. And it increasingly is important in their decision making of who to consume, products and content and services from.
I think that's such a good point. And in media in particular, people are expecting to see not just more diverse casts and more authentically diverse casts and settings and stories, but creative teams behind those stories that match that background, who can bring authenticity to the portrayal and the stories, and the respect that's due to the audience, to the groups that are being represented. And I think that that's a good thing, that we, that people are calling for that, and that increasingly people are looking to address that as well. Well, thank you guys so much for this discussion. If you guys would like to continue this conversation with us, feel free to reach out.